Because you never get more in life by saying no. You can only get more in life by saying yes. I was committed to spend a few years doing whatever it takes, doing things that other people are not willing to do, making sacrifices that other people are not willing to make so that I could do what I want to do for the rest of my life. The air is thin at the top. You have to learn to be alone without being lonely. That's just the path. That when you are becoming more successful.
Dan Lok and his 10 rules of greatness. Check them out.
Here's the truth, that if you need someone to motivate you, you're not that motivated. What I notice is high performance people, we are self-motivated. There are a lot of people, they're looking for their family, and they use that as an excuse. So, you know, my wife, my husband, they don't support me. My parents don't support me. My kids don't support me. Or my friends don't support me. Guess what? Do not expect their support. The air is thin at the top. You have to learn to be alone without being lonely. That's just the path. That when you are becoming more successful, that's the biggest thing that holds most people back. It's not the how-to, it's not the know what, it's not don't know what to do, it's not the business idea. It's the fact that they cannot operate on their own, being able to self-motivate, at the same time not having to get permission from the people around them. You need to be self-motivated. Look across any industry, sports, entertainment, business, anyone who's achieved excellence. You don't need to motivate them because they demand more from themselves than anybody else could. I demand more from myself than anybody else could. Number one fear that most people have is public speaking. Now, why do so many people, why are they afraid of speaking to groups most of the time? Because they worry about if they're gonna sound stupid, or how do they look, or they are afraid because they might say something wrong. All these things, but you look at great leaders, almost all great leaders, they're all great public speakers, such as Steve Jobs, right? Such as Tony Robbins, Warren Buffett. One of the skills that changed my life is public speaking. When I joined Toastmasters years ago, because I wanted to improve my English and also reduce my accent, and I was improving myself through public speaking. I developed confidence, self-confidence through public speaking. So ask yourself, are you afraid to speak to groups? Do you know how to present your ideas to groups? Can you communicate with conviction and certainty? Can you interact with your audience? Maybe you get sweaty palms. Maybe you were like me in the beginning, like your face would turn pale, right? Your knees would be locked. That's okay. It is a learnable skill. But in order to be rich, public speaking is one of the most valuable skills that you must master. The third decision that will change your financial life is this. Decide what price are you willing to pay. There's always a pay price to action. Everything you want in life, it has a price. I remember the first 5 years when I was building my empire, building my business. The first 5 years I was working. I did not take a single day off for 5 years straight. I was working every single day, 12 to 14 hours. I remember there were nights where I actually literally worked till exhaustion and I fell asleep on my desk. That's the price that I pay. While all my friends, they were drinking, partying, watching sports game and chasing girls, I didn't do any of that. I was focused, I was obsessed because I was willing to pay for the price for success. I was committed to spend a few years doing whatever it takes, doing things that other people are not willing to do, making sacrifices that other people are not willing to make so that I could do what I want to do for the rest of my life. So in order to get what you want but don't have in life, what do you have to do? You need to stretch and expand your comfort zone. Because if it's within your comfort zone, guess what? You already have them.
So everything that you want in life that you don't have right now is all outside of your comfort zone. So I believe the number one habit you need to develop to be successful is on a consistent, if not a daily basis, do things that make you feel uncomfortable. It is that simple. Because you look at what holds most people back. What holds you back is fear. Fear of the unknown, fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of success. All these things is all outside your comfort zone. Human being, because we're a creature of habits, we tend to operate day to day and do the same thing again and again and again. But if you have a habit, you make a habit that you do things on a consistent basis that you don't usually do, it makes you scared. It scares the fuck out of you. If a fish is sick, you don't treat the fish, you treat the water. See, today I want to share a very profound lesson with you. The number one enemy that is holding you back from success, and that is you don't treat the fish, you treat the water. If you want to change, you want to improve your life, the first thing you have to be aware of is your surrounding. Who do you surround yourself with? That's your water. You are the fish. You see, most people, when they attempt to make an improvement, they want to change their lives. They want to increase their income. They want to make more money. They want to be happier. But they want to change all of that without changing their environment. It's virtually impossible. You're setting yourself up for failure, because if you want to change, but the environment is toxic, the people you hang around, they're negative. The people around you, they don't believe in you.
Successful people embrace failures. Do you embrace failures, or do you take failures personally? You see, successful people, they are ridiculously positive about their future. They always speak positively about their future, where things are going, as if it's already happened. Even though there's no way that it could happen, they believe in themselves, right? They have positive expectations about their future. Walt Disney was fired by a news editor saying that he had no imagination and no creativity. Steven Spielberg was rejected 3 times by film school before getting his huge break. Colonel Sanders, at the age of 56, got rejected 1,000 times for his recipe before a restaurant picks it up. You will notice the most successful people in any field, they are usually the ones who have failed more than anybody else. You see, the difference between a successful person and everyone else is not a lack of strength, it's not a lack of knowledge, it's a lack of will. Winston Churchill said it best: success is going from failure to failure without losing enthusiasm. Frustration, negativity, fear, envy, depression, limiting belief, procrastination. How do you manage your emotions? How do you manage your mind? You see, you could get all the other 6 skills right, and you can master all other 6 skills, but if you don't have your mindset right, it's not going to work. I've said it many times. The book Napoleon Hill wrote, it's called Think and Grow Rich. Part of thinking is managing your mind. What are you feeding in your mind? You need to say a lot of yes. Because you never get more in life by saying no. You can only get more in life by saying yes. Say yes to that opportunity. Say yes meeting to that new person. Say yes going to that new city. You want to try a lot of different things. Sometimes a lot of young people, they ask me, well, Dan, what should I focus on? What should I do? What career should I pursue? Or what's my passion? I say, how the fuck do I know? You haven't tried enough things. You haven't failed enough. I don't want to be the top dog in my circle, right? I don't even want to be equal. I want to walk in the room, I want to be the least successful guy in the room. Because then I can learn from them. I could grow, right? In my circle, I'm like a small potato. So I don't see myself with, oh, I'm very successful. No, I mean, people on social media, people around me, for sure, right? Compared to most people, yes. Not compared to myself. I have higher expectations for myself than anybody else. I am not 1%. Listen to me. I am not even 1% of where I want to be compared to my vision. And I'm where most people want to be in their dreams. And I am not, in my vision, 1% of where I want to be. So what the hell should you be doing? I'm not complacent. I'm working harder today than I was 15 years ago, 10 years ago. I'm working harder today. Why? So the money thing doesn't drive me anymore. You need something bigger. You need a bigger purpose. Otherwise, I'm still young. You're still young. Hell on earth is meeting the man or woman you could have been. Life is short. Look at Kobe Bryant. Basketball. Superstar. A great man. Life is short. You don't want to have regrets. Regrets weigh a ton. A ton. I'd rather take the route of discipline and do the hard thing today. Don't buy into the whole BS people around you and say, oh, you know, you don't want to work too hard. What about life balance and all that stuff? No. You see, now I'm almost to my 40. I could work harder in terms of stamina, 20 years old, 30, right? And 40, you'll feel it, right? For those of 40, you know what I'm talking about. So now, in order to work harder, it requires more mental bandwidth, it requires more energy. It's harder. Like when I was young, I can pull a few all-nighters, no problem. Now I can't do it. So I need to work smart as well as working hard, right? Not just physically, but mentally. Think about it. If you have given a choice, if you could have $1 million for the rest of your life, you have $1 million, but in exchange, you could no longer have intimacy. You can no longer have relationship with anybody else. You can no longer love. In exchange of $1 million, would you take it? Comment below. You wouldn't, because life without love means very, very little. And how could you give love? You cannot give something that you don't have. So how could you give love if you don't have love yourself? How can you love others if you don't love yourself?
Hopefully you've learned something from his 10 rules of greatness. Hopefully you will take 1, 2, or 3, or maybe all of them and implement in your life. The goal of these 10 rules is to look at successful individuals and things that they do. Look at their behaviors and make adjustments to your own behaviors. Successful people leave clues. So copy what works and get rid of the rest. And start making some changes in your life. Leave in the comment below what rules you're going to implement in your life. Here's to your success, and keep working hard.